Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Benton Shifts&Grins 4-bike hitch carrier and see how it interacts with our 2022 Ford Edge. Now, if you've gone ahead and decided to purchase the Benton Shifts&Grins 4-bike carrier and you've got some experiences that you want to share with us, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We'd love to share your story with our other neighbors so that they can make the best decision for themselves. So if you're looking for a solid 4-bike carrier for the hitch on your 2022 Ford Edge, the Benton Shifts&Grins could be an excellent option for you, especially if you're looking for versatility. Now, this bike rack allows for 55 pounds per bike, and the total weight of the hitch carrier itself ends up being right around 114 pounds. So if you have a 2-inch Class 3 hitch, you really shouldn't have to worry too much about the weight back here, but it's always a good idea to double check the tongue weight of your vehicle. And from a versatility standpoint, at 55 pounds, that is going to allow you to carry a lot of those lighter weight e-bikes. But the other great thing about it that makes it really versatile is that it can be either wheel mounted, which is kind of the most popular way to do it, or if you have a bike with fenders, like a lot of e-bikes do, you can move the arm and hook over to be a frame mount. That way you could protect those fenders and keep the bike securely on the rack. We're going to go ahead and move this right back over to our wheel. As I said, that is kind of the most popular way to do it, and it makes for the simplest loading and unloading. Now, as far as how this fits on our Ford Edge, we actually have a ton of room back here. We did put a larger frame bike on here. It's got 15.5-inch handlebars. And as you can see, whether it's the pedal or the handlebars itself, even on a rockier terrain or a rougher terrain, we're really not in any danger of the bike hitting against the back of the vehicle. Now, with that being said, like any platform bike rack, we are going to have a lot of obstruction back here, especially as we load more bikes onto it. But our vision out of the rear window is going to be obstructed, along with our taillights in regards to other drivers and our license plate. But for you, mainly as the driver, you're going to have a lot of obstruction coming out of your rear view camera. So it's very important to understand just what kind of footprint this is leaving behind your vehicle. And from the bumper to the furthest point on the rack, it's going to be just under 54 inches. So bear that in mind. I mean, you've got about 4.5 feet extra coming off of the bumper here for when you're getting into those tighter spaces or trying to parallel park. The other thing we want to take a look at is ground clearance, and this is important because it comes so far off of the bumper. You really want to keep in mind that you've only got about a little under 17 inches of ground clearance back here. Normally that's quite a bit, but if you get to a steep enough incline or driveway, there is a chance that this could bottom out, so do be conscious of that. I had also mentioned that this can carry up to 55-pound bikes. So just make sure that you're comfortable lifting that weight up about 20.5 inches in order to get one of those heavier bikes on here. Now that's for the closest bike. The furthest bike away, we're looking at about 21.5 inches. So these are all things you want to keep in mind in relation to how it fits on your Ford Edge. Now, one of the most important questions that we always get in regards to these platform hitch bike racks is, will you have access to your liftgate when there are bikes loaded? And in the case of these Shifts&Grins, you actually will. So all we need to do is to press this button right here. We're going to go ahead and use this handle to keep a grip on it and lower it, because this will be pretty heavy if you have 4 bikes loaded on it. And there's a little rubber bumper here at the bottom to protect your rack when it rests against the ground, as this does. Now, as we come over here and open our liftgate, we actually have plenty of clearance to get in and out of here, and that's great, because a lot of times when you have a 4-bike carrier like this that doesn't let it deploy all the way, it's resting on the ground, as I said, it's got a pretty low hitch on it, we don't always get the liftgate open in the case of something like this. So this is excellent for the Ford Edge. But now I can get in and out of my liftgate freely with the bike rack loaded. I could grab more equipment, helmets, shoes, more water, whatever it might be, or maybe I need to stop at the store on the way back from the trail, and now I can get my groceries and things loaded up on the way back without removing any of the bikes. And in order to get it back into its riding position, all you need to do is brace the bike that's closest to you and lift up on this handle until it clicks. Once we hear that click, we're locked in place and we're ready to get back on the road. Now, loading and unloading the bikes from your Shifts and Grins is actually a really simple process. You definitely want to start with the bike that's furthest away and work your way in so that we have room to get in and out of here. But what we're really going to want to do first is take a look at the 3 attachment points, which is going to be a strap on each wheel. This is a ratcheting strap with a rubber pad to help protect your wheel. And then we have our arm and hook assembly, which we were looking at before. But in order to get this removed, we're first going to do our wheel straps. So we're just going to depress this tab, feed it through the spokes, and clear it up and out of our way. We're going to do the same thing here in our front wheel. Depress that tab, get it through, cleared up and out of the way. And now we can remove our arm and hook. So we're just going to depress this button on it here, lift the hook up, and get it cleared away from our wheel. Now, obviously, this is a little tricky because we have all of this to maneuver. So whichever side works for you. I think it's easier on the closest one to do it from the back, just whichever, opposite direction that the arm and hook is stowed at on the platform before it. But now we can get our bike up, clear it off the rack, and now we're ready to either store it or hit the trail. Now, obviously, when you don't have bikes on it, we don't want to be driving around with an extra 4.5 feet back here for no reason. So we do have a stowaway position. We're going to use that same button we used for the tilt-away. We're just going to pop that in, and now we're just going to lift it up into place here. Now, as you can see, this is going to significantly reduce that footprint from behind the bumper. We're now looking at only about 17 inches back here, so almost 1.5 feet. So we took almost about 3 feet off of the back of it. However, in doing so, we actually created a lot more blockage back here than would be here with the bikes on it in a lot of cases. Our tail lights, our license plate, our rear view camera, even visibility out of our rear window, everything gets blocked. So my recommendation would be actually, if you plan to drive around with no bikes on it, or if you don't have any plans to be carrying 4 bikes, I would simply remove the 2-bike addition, making it a 2-bike rack and getting it folded up a whole lot easier. And in order to do that, it's a 2-step process. We've got a U-shaped pin and clip here, and we've got this knob at the bottom. So what we'll do is we're going to loosen our knob up a bit. That's locking it in place. And we're going to remove our U-shaped pin and clip. You just need to slide it right off like that. And we can go ahead and store it. But what that's going to do for us now is when we pop this up into our stowed position, we all of a sudden have a lot more visibility. So unless you're about to or intend to carry 4 bikes on it, I would actually recommend you driving around with it like this, using it as a 2-bike carrier and then adding that on when you need that 3rd or 4th bike. But all in all, I do think that as a 4-bike carrier, the Benton Shifts&Grins could be an excellent choice for you and your friends and family, just based on the versatility alone and all the different styles of bikes that you can use with it. But excellent choice for you and your 2022 Ford Edge. I'm Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.